famous rabbis of yesteryear. Now, according to some communities, on Yud Zayin of the month of Av, Menachem Av, they mark the Hilula of Rabbi Matzliach Yichiel Ovadiyah, who happened to have been a very famous rabbi, let's just say, of his time. The reason why I think the Hayomi website will list his commemoration on the 17th of Av was because that was a day when he signed the introduction to his book called the Khazon Obadiah back in the year 1836. This was. Now, Rabbi Matzliach was born in the year 1764 and he passed away in 1844. He was approximately 80 years of age at the time he passed away, and he came from great rabbinic auspices. His father's name was Rab Moshe David, and seemingly he was born around the year 1764 in Italy, in Ancona, if I'm not mistaken, over there. He would learn Torah under auspices of his father, who was a great Chacham, Moshe David, מעובדיה, and this was naturally in the city of Ancona, respectively. He would grow in Torah and Yirat Shamayim through some of the great rabbis of the city, respectively. I think at that point in time, he was close to the big rabbi over there, was Rabbi Chaim Abraham Yisrael, who was author of the Torah colossal work called Amurat Toharot. Now, this is, I believe, a family we've spoken about on various occasions before inside this series that will... we have to point out, variously, I think he himself lived between the year 1708 to 1780, Rabbi Yisrael. We actually recorded a video, I think, about him. He was let's just say, he was one of the famous rabbis of his time. He was in Ancona, respectively, and was the author of great Torah works, I think, including the Amorot Torot and the Beit Abraham, and various other books. This rabbi we've spoken about. I recommend everyone to look back on that video recorded connected to him. But let's continue over here. So he would learn under his auspices, and I think for many years, I think that has to be pointed out. And I think he actually had been Rabbi Chaim Abraham Yisrael, the head rabbi of Ancona, from 1774 to 1785. Now, it's actually interesting. Rabbi Yichiel would actually move in the year 1827 to the city of Herrera, respectively. And I think Rabbi Mordechai Shmuel Girondi, a rabbi we've spoken about before, would write in his book, The History of the Great Men of Israel and Greatness of Italy, about the successful Hacham, Rabbi Yichiel of Ovadiyah, who attained Torah and greatness and would sit and, let's say, dwell in Torah all the day in the seminary of Ancona and Herrera, and gave various different books of his as gifts to students, respectively, over there. Now, it's interesting. He would author many, many Torah colossal works. He would many things. I think especially in the year 1833, it would come out in Baliuorno. Remember, Baliuorno in its day had a great printing press. A book called the Khazon Obadiah. What did that contain of? Drashot, sermons, and there was also another one, the Yain Harekach. This was Gematria and Doresh. Ala Yain, the various different numerical values. Very interesting enough. So he was already at the earlier time period. He would write, I think, various different things. The book was published only, I think, in the year 1836. Seemingly, there was maybe some sort of delay. Another book of his was Keren David. This was Sermons on the Book of Bereshit, Genesis. That was published, I think, in the year 1837 also. And another book was Yismach Moshe. And that was another Torah colossal work. I think that was printed around that point in time. I think also in Livorno, in Italy, in the 1838. And he was also had various other, let's say, Torah important roles, including he was a mohel. This is a mohel, is a rabbi that will perform brit milahs, or as you can say, circumcisions. He would had a special, let's just say, I'll say it in Hebrew over here, it's just easier over here. It says, Haya gam mohel pinkas b'chtav yado im reshimot tinokot shemal ha-shitamar. He would list down, I think, the names of the babies that he would, of the circumcision over there. I think, come on, the year 70, yeah, so this is very interesting. So I think he would have a preserved list between the years 1792 to 1844 of all the Brit Milahs he would perform and what the names of the babies actually had been. So that maybe a chronicle, or maybe it's written down somewhere. But seemingly passed away in the year 1844. So we don't know the exact date of his Hilula, but the Hayomi website commemorates it on the 17th of Av, once again, because that was the day when he signed the introduction to his book called the Khazon Obadiah. Let's explore a few of the teachings of his Torah colossal work. One of them says, I think, the Khazon Obadiah, I think in page 56, if I'm not mistaken, once again, this was printed in the year 1836. מלמד קץ התורה מוכן לכל אדם ישראל שלומד על מנת לעשות. This is the crown of Torah comes on person, so that if they're going to learn, it's on condition to do. Another one of his teachings. מלמד שאין לו ואינו רוצה מפני הבושה, אין נפרעים מה לבאותו. This is from page number 30, I think in Amud Aleph. Once again, that was printed in 1836, part of the Khazon Obadiah. Another teaching, מלמד שאין תלמיד חכם יכול לפתור עצמו מעסקיה של ארץ ישראל. The importance of Eretz Israel. This once again in page number 23. And this was once again from the book Khazon Obadiah. Another teaching, מלמד להשתתח בערב ראש שנה בין אצל אביו ותלמיד אצל רבו. Once again, this featured in page number 42. Once again, part of the Khazon Obadiah. And one last teaching over here, from page number 15. מלמד שאינו רשאי לסלק עצמו מענייני הגוף שהוא ליישב העולם. This comes from very much from page number 15, Amud Bet, inside this book. I think there's other chronicles within regards to this book. I think very much featured maybe in the Hebrew books.org website and various other places, which I recommend everyone to do. There is, I think the book itself, with the Khazon Ovadiyah, if I'm not mistaken, would contain as many as 465 pages. There's you can actually see that it was printed in Livorno at the time, and in Livorno, at that point in time. According to it was published in the year 1833, 465 pages. His full name was Rabbi Yichiel Matzliach ben Moshe David, and there would be various other, let's say, inside the catalogue, various other different important books also that's contained within regards to information within regards to him. So I recommend everyone to look more about him. There's also, if you go on Google Books, you can see a copy, I think, of the Yismach Moshe. Maybe it was reprinted or published on another date, I think. In the year 1999, there was a reprint, I think, maybe possibly in 2 volumes, if I'm not mistaken, was actually printed at that stage in time, and you can very much see it. I think you've got, if I'm not mistaken, also there was Sefer Pizmonim Shel Milah, which was, I think, from the year 1792. This was a book containing liturgical poems and prayers for a circumcision, followed by a record of the boys circumcised in Pereira. So he would have this list over here, and it's actually chronicled inside the Hebrew books. I think that would contain 142 pages. I think it started in the year 1792. I think there's actually records of this in the Jewish Theological Seminary of American inside the library there, respectively. So you could actually find that on various occasions before. So that's very interesting. He was a very famous rabbi of his time, a rabbi, I think we mentioned him on several occasions before, if I'm not mistaken, inside this series, which is very, very important to point out. And remember, Italy at that point in time was the bastion place of Torah learning. There was many famous rabbis there of that time period, that era, respectively. And he very much was one of them. And now, friends, we are a community here. We learn about famous rabbis of yesteryear. Now, if you descend from any of the great rabbis we are speaking about here in this series, please send me an email. I would love to hear more information on them. If you feel that we should include a rabbi that we haven't included yet, please let me know more information. I would try and investigate more. There's so many great chachamim we had of yesteryear. It's absolutely incredible, and how important it is to learn about the brilliance of these rabbanim. Now we're nearing a staggering, at the moment, 7,000 subscribers onto the channel. So please don't forget to subscribe. If you feel anyone is interested in watching any of these videos, please share these videos also to other people. And we've got over here, we're speaking about the famous great rabbi we've spoken about on various occasions for Rabbi Yichiel Matzliach Ovadiyah. Now I'm recording this just before the time period of Shabbat Parshat Ba'et Hanan here from Israel. So it's a very, very important time period at the moment. It's also just a few days after Tisha B'Av. It actually happens to be also today Tu B'Av, which we have to point out also, which is obviously probably the most joyous day of the Hebrew calendar we actually have incorporated tonight. So that is just an extra tidbit over here. So I think on that note, I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom, and please everyone subscribe once again. And watch over the previous videos. We've already recorded on this series around approximately 1,200 biography videos of famous rabbis of yesteryear. So you can check if you're related to any of the rabbis. You can check actually on the playlist itself and see the long list of different great chachamim that we've included on this series. So thank you very much everyone for watching. Take care and be well. Thanks for watching.